Hi guys, welcome back to this video. I hope you've had, well, an amazing time. I'm sorry I didn't post last weekend, but I didn't really have time and, well, I kind of got caught up with my makeover. As you can see, entirely different hairstyle, hair colour as well. Yeah. I was actually going for brown red, but this is what happened. So, we left off at Morgause trying to kill Morgaine's child, but deciding to take it as her own and separating Morgaine from her son because she knows it's Arthur's and has found her way to power. Power. It's a very complex situation with power and all that. So, we cut back to the mists and Morgaine's narration. Okay, and then we go to a scene of Arthur being the beloved High King, appraised by all, seen with wonder, all that stuff, all that, might I say, shit. Because, yeah, he's in the middle of breaking his promise to Avalon, the ones who brought him to the throne in the first place. So, why do I even have to explain this? So, Arthur is the beloved High King, and Guinevere still cannot bear an heir. That was a triple rhyme. Unintentional, I assure you, but still a triple rhyme. My voice is really bad today. So, Morgaine returns to Camelot and meets Accolon, the pair we've been waiting for all the movie and the book. Although the book took considerably longer than in the film. The book took me about a year, with long breaks. So if you dedicate every living second, every breathing moment when you're not sleeping or eating or doing anything else to the book, then you will be through with it in an estimated 2 months. I'm not entirely certain. I did not dedicate every day to the book because I didn't have the time. Anyway, back to the story. So Guinevere asks for Morgaine's help, and Morgaine gives her a fertility charm on the night of Beltane, and guess what? We already discussed this in the book summary. That was not me, it was the chair. Anyway, continuing. So, Guinevere shares a bed with Arthur and Lancelot. Do I need to express my deep disapproval of this? I think you can all see why I disapprove of this very strongly. So, on this very same night, Accolon and Morgaine, the couple we love in the book and the film, come together at last, and yeah, there's a kissing sequence with them at the Beltane fires, etc., etc. And admittedly, in the film, Accolon is pretty hot, admittedly. Anyone who's seen the film will know Accolon is a medium state of hotness. Plus he's a druid, priest, a warrior, and a follower of the old religion. What more could Morgaine want? They're perfect for each other. Yeah. So after this, Lancelot, not knowing how these things could possibly go back to normal, well, yeah, he asks Lady Elaine to marry him. And Guinevere has a mental breakdown, as in she starts crying, shouting, a mental breakdown, as every other. I'm not going to say where I've seen mental breakdowns before, because that would be slightly strange for you guys, who know absolutely nothing of my personal life and will remain to do so. I'm not going to give away much about my personal life, except my deep emotions about films, books, and mistakes made in both, and common misconceptions, which will be discussed in other videos. Continuing. So, yeah. Guinevere's pissed for Morgane taking away the man who she couldn't have anyway, and therefore decides to marry Morgane off to King Uriens. Morgane is tricked, just like in the book. Yeah, there isn't really much of a difference. And we go to Merlin dying. That was a depressing scene, which is exactly why I skipped it, because I did not want to get emotional, and it didn't really give me enough time to get emotional. I don't really get very emotional quickly. It just grows on me. There are certain moments when characters I absolutely love are having a tough time, and it just breaks my heart when they're having a tough time. I just get emotional in those situations, and if a scene is, an emotional scene is interrupted with battle sequences, I will actually think, not so important, battle sequences are even more important than this. That's actually, both are equally important, but since it's jumping back and forth, I need to go between emotional, not emotional, emotional, not emotional, in a matter of 5 seconds each. Yeah. Do you see why it is hard for me to get emotional quickly, if that sort of thing is happening? Please write in the comments if you do understand my situation. Moving on. So, Mordred has now grown up and meets Vivian, finding out about Arthur being his father in the process. So, Mordred decides to kill Arthur in a very psycho moment, and sticks to that plan, thanks to Vivian. Thank you, Vivian! Yeah. He turns into a complete psycho, starts laughing like one, laughing, crying at the same time. It's emotional for him, but it's also a very disturbing sequence. As in, he goes completely nuts. Continuing. So, Mordred goes to Camelot and says he's Morgane's son, and becomes a knight of Arthur's Round Table, and Guinevere has a mental breakdown again. She tends to have a lot of mental breakdowns in both book and film, just because things don't go her way. Well, I'm sorry, things don't always go your way in life. I learned that the hard way multiple times. So, I'm not going to go into detail on that. Yes. So, Uriens dies and Morgane returns to Avalon. Accolon does not die. Yippee! We're going to discuss this in episode 3, don't worry. I have not forgotten episode 3. So, yeah. Then, Mordred tells Arthur that he is his son. Arthur, well, completely has a mental breakdown, and Guinevere as well, ending up in an affair with Lancelot. Yeah. Morgane has been rejected by Avalon in the meantime, and is then reunited with her mother Igraine, who is a nun in the Glastonbury Monastery, which is basically on the border to Avalon. And yeah, Guinevere is caught with Lancelot. I'm just doing it in the order where it is, the way it is in the movie. Just doing it that way. Yeah. Guinevere is caught with Lancelot by Mordred and Morgause. Ahem. Cruelty. Their name is Mordred and Morgause. Leave two lovebirds their space and privacy, people. Yeah. We're not going to talk about it. So, they escape and go to Glastonbury. There's a very touching scene parting ways which I could not bring myself to skip. Yeah, I skipped the death scene of Merlin, but watched when a, might I say, not so nice person and a really hot guy part ways and it gets emotional. Yeah. Don't ask me why. Please don't ask me why. So, Guinevere and Morgane meet again and embrace each other as sisters. Anyone here to give me a hug? Hug! Anyone here to give me a hug? No? Okay. So, yeah, they embrace each other as sisters and talk about stuff. Yeah. So Morgane returns to Camelot and finds destruction raging. On the way, she meets Vivian, a person she thought she would never see again, and it's a wonderful reunion. And then we cut to a very disturbing picture of Camelot with dead people hanging around. I will just describe it for you. There are priests nailed to crosses. There are commoners hanging from the castle walls. There's a lot of blood. And it is plain disgusting. It's all dark, it's gloomy, it's not the Camelot we grew to love in the film. And the Camelot we moved to after Carlion in the book. Going to discuss that in episode 3. Along with a lot of other stuff. Yeah. And might I add, these people are not undead for any of you who might still be thinking, zombies! No, there are no undead creatures in this story. Just as a clear up. So Morgane sees Mordred and Vivian dies in the same scene. I will be discussing how that is wrong in the 3rd episode. Anyone who's read the book and seen the film, both of them, they will know immediately what I am talking about. Anyway, so there is a reunion with Arthur, and Morgane persuades him to fight Mordred, although Arthur pretty much left everything in Mordred's hands. And then, well, Vivian's funeral happens. There's a lot of crying. Morgane attends it, of course, her aunt. And, yeah. Arthur and Lancelot fight side by side against Mordred. Now, this is one of those scenes where you switch between a sad picture and a battle scene. This is the reason why I could not get emotional in that sequence, because battle scene and emotional scene do not fit together. You cannot be emotional and pumped with adrenaline at the same time. Actually, can you be pumped with adrenaline and emotional at the same time? I'm not entirely certain. Anyway, it doesn't work out well. So yeah, Arthur and Lancelot fight side by side against Mordred, and Morgane rides really fast, the way a motorcyclists would ride their motorbikes these days, to prevent Arthur and Mordred from killing each other. Why did you send them onto each other in the first place? Morgaine, it is a battle. There's bound to be dead people. In fact, we see Arthur's and Mordred's armies slaughtering each other without there being any left, and in the end Lancelot does die. Another wrong thing which I will have to correct in episode 3. Yeah. We see Arthur's and Mordred's armies slaughtering each other. No one is left in the end except Arthur and Mordred. Or so it looks. That's the way it looks in the film. That is actually the way it looks. There's mists, dead bodies all around, and the only living beings are Mordred and Arthur. Mordred dies on the battlefield. And Arthur is taken to Avalon by Morgaine, same as the book, including death. He dies once Avalon comes into view, and Morgaine says something like, "We're home, little brother, we're home," or something like that. It is impossible for me to get emotional in that scene because it's too short. And in the end we see, Morgaine living with her mother and the nuns in the Glastonbury Monastery, not becoming a nun. She's a priestess of Avalon, no matter if Avalon's rejected her or not. And finds the reawakening of the goddess in Christianity, the Virgin Mary. Yay. End of story. So yeah, we end with Morgaine's narration, which is not in the mists. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in episode 3, where we will be discussing the flaws of the film, of which there are many, and the upsides of the film, I might add, which are, for example, casting and soundtrack, the soundtrack being awesome, and the fantastic creation called the book, which was written first and is therefore correct in our eyes. And we will be looking at all the mistakes of the film. Actually, most of the mistakes. A lot of details. For example, the blue priestess dresses from the book being replaced with orange airy fairy dresses, which are not in the least practical as they are described in the book. I do not believe that I need to explain why this is annoying for me. I'm a perfectionist, therefore every detail must be correct. Anyway, I hope you are looking forward to the next episode. I'm planning a few other episodes as well, so have a great day and a great evening. Well, depending on when you watch this, have a great day or great evening. I will see you next time. Bye bye.